everyone, for today's video, we're going to talk about stress and I'll give you my 6 tips on how to deal with it. Being in the medical field, stress is defined as physical, emotional, or mental factors that causes bodily or mental tension. It is undeniable that due to life uncertainties, we are experiencing stressful situations. Personally, for the past few weeks or months, my stress level was rising because of circumstances that I cannot control. My grandmother was admitted, and days after she was discharged, my mother was confined, and at the same time, I was also putting into consideration my IELTS review classes, and not to mention I am based in Manila, so that means that I had to fly to Bohol, and flying back and forth twice is really stressful, not just physically, emotionally, mentally, but as well as when it comes to financial aspect. It seems that my world was turning upside down, but I was trying my best to deal with everything. I experienced a lot of signs and symptoms. I get acne all over my face. I experienced frequent sickness, cough, colds, fever, and headache. At the same time, I was having problem with my digestive, wherein my bowel movement wasn't regular at all. And having those presentation, I was already aware that I am dealing with stressor. People would say that stress is already part of our day-to-day existence and that it is unavoidable. But I want you to believe, and I also want you to bear in mind, that it is actually avoidable, especially if we are having a balance in our lives. Having a good balance in the different aspects in our lives, one can actually be free from stress. So in this video, allow me to share with you my 6 simple tips on how to deal with stress, which is very common in our daily activities. So for my first tip is to live at the present. It is important to focus what is in front of you rather than trying to figure out what will happen in the future or trying to dig what happened in the past. Knowing how to live a healthy and grateful life at the moment, it can actually reduce your stress and anxiety level. Basically, we have dreams that we want to fulfill. So for that, we are putting pressure on ourselves in order to fulfill those aspirations. I actually see no mistakes in achieving those ambitions, but the only mistake I notice is on how we stress out ourselves in order to fulfill those aspirations that we have in our lives. But what we don't know, what really matters, is as long as we are doing our best toward our goals, this is where we can be able to have a normal life. As a result, we can be more healthy and be more happy in general. So for me, it is really important to embrace our present situation rather than trying to figure out the future and trying to look back on our past. So for my tip number 2 is writing down your feelings and emotions. To be honest, I cannot live without my journal. Back when I was in high school and college, I always had my diary with me. And up to date, I make it a habit to write down my feelings, regardless if those are happy thoughts or painful experiences. In that way, I can be able to reflect, and at the same time, I can track if I am really taking the right path in my life. In addition, having a journal is like having a confidant because I can just express all my emotions without hurting someone else's feelings, since they cannot read what I had written on my journal. Moreover, having a journal, it helped me and guide me in knowing what are those next steps that I should be taking and how to organize those steps in order for me to avoid stress and anxiety. It is undeniable that based on my personal experience, having a journal is a great tool in relieving stress. So guys, if you are not keeping journal with you yet, might as well start writing down now, and let us see how your life will be changed because of journaling. So for my tip number 3, have someone to talk to. At least have a support background. It is vital to have a good and strong support system. It could be your family, your best friend or close friends, your partner in life, or even therapist, where you can vent out your current situation instead of hiding it to yourself. You can ask for their opinions and views regarding on how to cope up with your current situation. And of course, don't be shy to ask for their advices and clarifications because they actually play a huge role, an important role in relieving your stress and anxiety. Well, for me, I make it a habit to talk to my family, to my loved one, or even to my trusted friends whenever I am at the verge of experiencing stress. I really recommend you to have this tip or at least have it as a tool in relieving your stress and anxiety because it is proven to be effective and useful. Now, moving on to our number 4 tip is to be optimistic in life. It is nice to always look on the brighter side of life rather than trying to dwell on the negative side or negative situations. Having a positive outlook gives us an assurance not to stress ourselves whenever a certain thing didn't go on our way because probably there are reasons why a particular thing didn't turn out the way we expect it to be. In addition, having constructive thoughts and affirmation will preclude us from being disappointed and frustrated. Basically, we have dreams, and when an individual fails over something, it will give them a feeling of disappointment or frustration, which is of course very stressful. Well, for me, every time I experience failure, I make it a habit to view it as a challenge or a opportunity for me to grow and become better rather than trying to see it as a threat in fulfilling my aspirations. So I would tell you guys that optimism and being a positive thinker is a huge key in relieving or is a huge key in preventing stress and anxiety. Now let's move to tip number 5, and that is to exercise daily. Exercises play a huge role in relieving those stressful stimuli that we are facing in our day-to-day activities. There are actually plenty of those, and you can choose which one you think is best for you. Dancing, going to the gym, jogging, yoga, and engaging in outdoor activities. For me, it actually depends. There are times that I feel like I want to dance, and there are also times where I just want to do jogging every morning. But of course, I make it a habit to do some workout, and I make sure that I stay active all throughout the day. If I am not active, it leads me to end up nothing. Actually, it leads me to crave for something unhealthy, or even my sleeping pattern is being affected, and sometimes the way I perceive or the way I think things are also experiencing the impact. Based on the article that I have read, physical or engaging in physical activities is effective in relieving stress. And once our emotional state is experiencing stress, expect that the other aspects in our lives and the rest of our body is also experiencing the impact. So as what I've mentioned earlier, that is based on my experience, if I am not active for a day, it will lead me to eat unhealthy food. I am experiencing sleeping pattern disturbance, and the way I think, my intellectual and mental state is also being affected. So guys, please stay active, and as much as possible, let us avoid having a sedentary lifestyle. And for my last tip, and for me, this is the most powerful tip that I can share with you guys, and that is to never ever forget to say your prayer. We all know that prayer is the most powerful tool, not just in relieving stress or anxiety, but of course in all aspects of life. I make it a habit to connect to our divine creator every time I wake up in the morning and also before I go to bed. Needless to say, I always start my day having an interaction or having a communication to the person up above, and it actually helped me to keep me going all throughout the day, as well as my spiritual background is being strengthened. Based on the journal online, that those individuals who have strong spiritual support and those who are religious can actually recover quickly when they experience stress, and also when they are experiencing illnesses. Those individuals as well tend to experience less stress and anxiety, and if ever they do, as I mentioned earlier, they recover quickly from it. It is really important to have a time to talk to our Almighty Lord and ask for relief, because He is watching us all the time. So guys, basically those are my 6 simple tips on how to deal with stress, and I am really hoping that you are learning from those, and at the same time I am looking forward that you will at least have those put those in your day-to-day activities. And of course, let us not forget to be thankful, guys, and be grateful with the little things that we have, even though we are living in a world that is full of stress. So guys, I'll see you on my next video, and